Hello. Wanted to do a quick check-in. Can you guys see me? A little bit. Um, oh man. Hopefully you guys have been well. If you've been stressed or it's just been a chaotic uh, third quarter for some of you this fall season going into winter, my hat's off to you. Usually Scorpio season hits people pretty hard. And we had some interesting transits. So, first of all, just thank you guys for catching this on the replay. Thank you for tuning in. But I just wanted to give like some foresight um, as to mentally like prepare yourself for the upcoming new year. So when 2020 hit, I think a lot of people were optimistic, thinking that it was going to be, a lot of people who weren't aware of what was going to transpire, and that includes myself. There was this optimism like, ooh, 2020, we're going to have a fresh vision. This is going to be new. This is a double year, 2020. Um, and a lot of us were caught off guard, myself included. It was a lot of surprises that many of us were not prepared for. And a lot of that just has to do with, um, I honestly want to say, living life in the matrix. And with that came this feeling and desire to wanting to get back to before 2020. And then there was a lot of uh, downward spiraling emotions with the reality that we're not going back there. That, you know, perception of a reality, which truly is a falsehood, where things were a little bit, they were still chaotic, but we felt we had a little bit more control over our own individual and collective chaos. Um, that it was the facade that we had control over our future and we could busily work to attain whatever reality we wanted to imagine. And somehow 2020 for many people, yes, it was an eye opener indeed, gave the impression like, no, those options are no longer available to you. Here is the rigid protocol. And then it pushed a lot of people into a mental survival mode where we didn't know if things were going to change, if this was going to get better, if, if there was any happiness in it. And it made a lot of people question, what's the purpose? What is the point of living? Where is the joy? If there is no joy, then why are we here? What is the point? And so taking that momentum into 2021, and we saw how that year started. Yes, with the 2020 election going into 2021. Um, Still a lot of remnants from that previous year cycle. And now we're going into a new year, 2022. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of astrological events that are on the horizon that are have the capability of shaking up a lot of people, shaking up a lot of emotions, allegiances, stability, all these things. And so, what I really want to share with you that as you go into this new year, and I'm not trying to say this like to be mm, depressing or and that sets the tone. I'm not trying to be mean or short, but it's I just want people, whoever watches this, I just want you to know, just keep just it's like you almost have to keep your blinders on. And what I want to say is you will have to create a a system of stability within your mind and then within yourself, that your purpose, your happiness is not sustained on the trivial ups and downs of what is going to happen in this matrix. And I say it like that not because of the movie that just came out that I didn't see, but I am saying that the more that I have started to observe this experience, and I call it that. Some people call it a simulation. But the more that I've just stepped back and observed, I am teaching myself to not put too much weight into what I see, to not put too much dependence on the people, the emotions, the experiences, the things that I come in contact with, because I am telling you, those are all like not only futile, but they're vapors. And that is when a lot of depression sets in, when you have an expectation thinking that life is supposed to be this, and your perceived reality does not meet your perceived expectation. So I am sharing this kind of as a warning to parents, and I just hope that you see this within the next coming days before we enter into 2022. And I almost feel like people feel it already energetically, and like in the collective consciousness there is this understanding that's rising up that I'm detaching. So I almost want to encourage you, as you move forward in this upcoming year of 2022, to cultivate a culture within your being of detachment, emotional detachment. If you understand anything about this simulation of a reality that we are in, you will understand that the amount of energy that you invest into things, it feeds something, whether it is, something that we are not aware of. But keep your power, keep your energy. Do not give into disagreements, petty arguments, disputes, any kind of divisiveness that would not only seek to divide, but rob you of your precious resource, which is your energy. If things are going good, great, but I would not invest too heavily in this economy, because and what I mean by that is the status of someone doing well in this system has been established by what we've been told that means. So when you see someone with an expensive name brand vehicle, when you see someone with a big house with all the bells and whistles, when you see someone, you know, wearing designer clothes and designer jewelry, and their hair looks, well done, and they're all put together, and their face is shiny, and they don't look tired. Um, we have associated that perception as being successful or having had made it. And when that is our standard, and we don't know what people have done or had to endure to reach that reality, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. We are putting ourselves in a space where um that's where it's almost like we're giving and sacrificing a level of energy of ourselves in order to get that, or to keep having that in our mind, thinking that that is the reality that we want to strive for. I want to put in front of you the concept of reconsidering, what does happiness and what does well off mean if there was no economy, If all of a sudden the market crashed and cars and Apple products and Target and Walmart and all of these things that you have grown to know as staples in your life, if they fell apart and crumbled to the ground and ceased to exist, what the fuck would matter in your life? What would be happiness? And honest to God, I feel like 2020 was a preview of what we will continue to see. So the thing about it is things are not crumbling because the world is bad. The old systems that no longer serve us, that cease to serve where our consciousness is headed, those things are crumbling. And I want you to understand that everything that our lives, at least, I mean, if you were like 80s, 70s, 60s, baby, like born, all of our life, like lifehood, livelihood, whatever. I want to say lifehood, really. Um, our whole existence has been built on a system of like structured, like the whole structure of our life has been this striving ecosystem. I think my okay, thank you. I was like, what happened with my connection? Whatever. But it's like we don't know what it's like to live a life outside of this structure that has been built of, going to uh, a school, um, or working for someone else, or this whole system that has been ingrained, oh my gosh, for the past 200 years or so, really, since this country was, they established it as the United States of America on that specific day. um, I hope if you have been aware, you've been paying some bit of attention that our country is going back into its Pluto return. And I've been following this. This is why I feel the need to bring this to your attention. Like, I just feel that whatever is going to go down, don't let it rob you of your focus, of you, the purpose of your existence and the purpose of this experience. Because if your life and your life's focus is and it has everything to do with um just ooh, trust me, it may be a hard fall or a hard reality check when things are not uh when things appear that they're falling apart. And so I'm just asking you in advance to consider uh reevaluating your systems that you depend on, and just like almost considering detaching in some ways how you interact with this simulation, because I can't even tell you, because I don't even fully know what could possibly be in store. But I am telling you that if you want a peaceful year, it's not going to come from your dedication or to the media. It's not going to come from you um, being dependent on what what you hear going on around you. If you truly want a year where you are grounded and you want your best year yet post 2020, it's going to require you. And I laugh because I'm like, I know the reality of a lot of people are just going to get caught up because they are too attached to it. Um, but the reality of it is like you're going to have to step away and see and have grace for a lot of people who are at times just going through it. And it's like, I hear you, but to some extent, the solution is simply as simple. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's as simple as choosing, and it is a choice to step away and say, you know what? This is not my reality. This is not the reality that I choose any longer. This is not the reality that I want. This is not the world I want to live in. I choose peace. I choose unity. I choose love. In spite of the message and messages that are coming at me and things that are telling me, you always have a choice. You always have a choice of what you choose and how you will choose to live in this experience. We always have a choice. So, what I tell somebody, don't start a business, just know what your foundation is in and be super, super clear about how you choose to run that business in a way that is sustainable with or without a current economic system. Always choose to be resourceful and flexible. Because if there ever comes a point where our paper dollars are no longer accepted and we have to switch over to a different type of currency, just be like, okay, and not put much weight in it, because that's what the system relies on. It depends on. It depends on your fear. It depends on your dependency on it. Well, when you can allow yourself to emotionally, and it takes time to give that up and say, you know what? I am a sovereign being. I am energy. I am spirit. I am not a body. This is not my true existence. This is not my home. I don't give, like, I am not invested in the outcome because this is not my reality. So I hope that that gives you some type of framework of how you should mentally, and I do mean like mentally prepare yourself, like boot camp. Meditate, prepare, do the emotional work and conditioning that come hell or high water, you will not allow yourself to be moved heavily, if at all, by the events of this upcoming year. Because I don't know what's going to happen. However, what I have chosen is almost taking it with a grain of salt, the messages that I'm hearing about March and April and bits of January, February, and how those are trying times, and then going into the fall, there could be a trying time in October. It depends on the person, but as long as you can remember that you are not your experience, you have control over what you choose and how you choose to experience this simulation and this reality. You have a choice. You always have a choice. So if you're going through it, as best as you can, allow yourself to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and picture yourself inch by inch, tiny step, tiny little bits by tiny little bits, stepping away from your perception of your current reality and asking yourself out loud, how can I see this differently? If you're a follower of A Course in Miracles, that is one of the greatest words or sentences and lessons that help me when I'm in a tough spot, when I feel challenged, when I feel triggered and attached to things. I ask myself, okay, how can I see this differently? And then it's almost like that renewed perspective comes and it gives me peace where I am not as emotionally engaged enough to be able to make a different choice. And it helps. I would, share that message with your children. Okay, this didn't work out the way that you hoped. It's okay. Is there a way that we can try to see this differently? So that's all I got. I thought after, before the sentence, I thought there was a little bit more than I wanted to share, but I think I'm going to stop. So just hang in there. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm like, is there something else that I really need to say? Hmm, probably not. Probably not anything that I haven't already touched on. But take a deep breath. Allow yourself to step away from what you perceive to be your current reality and ask yourself, how can I see this differently? That's the only way that you will truly have peace when things feel and seem and appear as though it is a chaotic shitstorm. So, blessings to you, peace to your mind and heart and your family. In the Gregorian calendar, I wish you a happy new year. But for those of us who realize and believe that the new year actually does not start until the spring, we are going into our fourth quarter. So I base my life off of that. I've chosen to switch. So the new year is not my new year. We're just following it on the Gregorian calendar. So technically, for me, January through I think March, that is my fourth quarter season. And I am currently in what I call my third quarter, which, if you're in business and whatnot, this would be considered your fourth quarter, your year end. So, blessings to everybody. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. I will hope to put out 2022 annual videos for your children. And I'm not sure how much more I'm going to add beyond that to this channel. Not because I don't like the work, but I just felt the need to go a different way. And I'm not sure if YouTube is the platform that I want to use. So thanks, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching.